In this video, we're going to look at 6 tips for using Google Classroom more effectively. Tip number 1 is set yourself up with both a teacher account and a student account. So here I am in my 2nd grade math Google Classroom. And I can go in and I can create all sorts of classwork. I can create a quiz. I can create material for my students to look at. I can pull in assignments from my Google Drive, etc. But in many ways, as I build things in Google Classroom, I'm doing it blind. I don't have an easy way to see what the students will see when they're in my class. I wish there were a button that I could just click to take me into student mode or student view so that I could experience this class as if I were a student in it. Unfortunately, I don't think that exists at this time. So instead, what I recommend is that you go into People, and here you'll get a list of teachers that are teaching the class. Hopefully you're included in that. If you want to add more teachers, you can click Invite to invite a co-teacher. And then also there's a list of students. So what you could do is just click here to invite another student to join your class. But instead of putting a student email here, put in another one of your emails. If you're like me, you have more than one email address. So just type in a second email address and then select it and click Invite, and you'll be invited to be a student in your own class, but using a different email address. Now, in some schools and in some districts, this is not an option. You can't just invite people to be students in your class. So if you're blocked from doing it that way, what you could do is talk to your school or district technology specialist or administrator and ask them to add you with a different account, but as a student in your school instance of Google Classroom. And that way you can log in as a teacher and you can log in as a student. So I'm going to go back to classwork. You can see that there's a simple assignment, and I can look at it as a teacher. This is what it looks like for me as the teacher. But I can also open another tab or another window completely. So here I am in this browser as a student and in this browser as a teacher. So I can go into that same 2nd grade math class, go to classwork, and here's the same assignment, but now I'm looking at it as a student. So I can see exactly what the students will see. They're going to have to click Add or Create in order to turn in their assignment. They can put in comments, private comments, and they can click Mark as Done. So it's just very valuable to be able to have a second Google Classroom account, but one that is a student account. Now, another way you could do a similar thing would be to go to your Google Classroom homepage and add a new class, and you could just call this Practice Class. Click Create, and then you could go into People and add a teacher at your same school as if they were a student in your class, and then ask them to add you in a practice class in their account. That way you'll each be in the other person's class as a student, and then go through and create an assignment. It can just be a dummy assignment. Click Assign, create a quiz assignment, and just create one of each of these things. And that way, the other teacher will be able to see what those different aspects of Google Classroom look like for students. And if they'll do the same thing, if they create a fake assignment, quiz, question, material, etc., you'll be able to see it because you're a student in their class. So that's another way to achieve the same effect of being able to see exactly what things look like for students. Let's move on to tip number 2, reusing posts. When you're creating classwork, notice that when you click Create, you don't have to just create an assignment from scratch or a question or some material. Notice this option here, Reuse Post. If you click that, you can pull in a post that you've used in the past, and it's not limited to the current class that you're in. So I could draw from an assignment that I created in my Spanish 2 class, or in Introduction to English, or whatever it might be. Even if the content itself doesn't match, maybe the layout or format of the assignment matches perfectly what I want, like this conversation with another student. I could click on that, click Reuse, and it pulls that assignment in to my current class. Then I can make adjustments. That quickly, I've converted this assignment from a language arts assignment to a math assignment. I could change some of these options here and click Assign. Now, with a simple assignment like this, you may not see the benefit of using create, reuse, post, but imagine a complicated assignment with lots of different options and features. It's nice to be able to reuse it over and over and over. And what if you teach the same subject in multiple classes, and each one has its own Google Classroom course? If that's the case, just create the assignment once and then reuse it over and over and over. You may even want to create a course that you might call a templates course. And that's where you create all of your fancy assignment templates, and then you just pull from that template course that could be listed here if I built one. And with all of my creative assignment templates stored in there, I could easily select it, choose the assignment I want to reuse, click reuse, and then customize it for the current course. And then click assign. Let's move on to tip number 3. Use the Share to Classroom extension. If I go to another tab here off to the right, I can still stay in my Google Classroom account, but in the new tab, I'm going to search for Google Chrome Store, and I'll go to that store and then do a search for Share to Classroom. Here it is, and I can just click Add to Chrome and then click Add Extension. And now, over here on the right, in my Google Chrome browser, there I have a button that makes it easy to share something to Google Classroom. So let's say I'm on abcia.com and I find a math game that's perfect for my students. I can simply click this button, Share to Classroom, and it loads up my classes. I select the class I want to share to, and I can click Push to push this to students. And notice if the students have this extension, they will receive the links that I push out. So this is particularly good when you're all in the same room together. You can push a link out to all your students who are logged into Google Classroom and have this extension. So that can be a little tricky. They may or may not receive the links that you push out. Instead of pushing to students, you may want to create an assignment based on this page, or ask a question about it, or make an announcement. If I click Create Assignment, right from within this little window, I can assign it to my class, or more than one class if I want to. I can title it, put some instructions, put in points and a due date if I want to, and then click Assign. If I click View, it'll take me back to my Google Classroom account. I can go to Classwork, and look, there's the assignment that I've built. And I did it very, very easily by using this Share to Google Classroom extension. Now let's try it again, and this time, instead of creating an assignment or pushing it out to students, I just want to make an announcement about it. This is pretty similar, but in this case, obviously, it won't be given any points, doesn't have to be turned in. Just type a message, click Post, and in my stream, there it is. Please try this game. Tip number 4 is topics. In Google Classroom, it's easy to organize your materials for your students by using topics. You can see here at the left, I do have one topic, Basic English Conversation. But to create a new topic, I just click there on Create, Topic. And I like to think of topics as being similar to units or chapters in a textbook. So let's say Unit 1, Review of Numeracy Basics. I click Add, and there I've got Unit 1. Then I could create another topic for Unit 2, Multiplication. Click Add, now I've got Unit 2. So now, whenever I create any kind of classwork or material for my class, I can file it under a topic. So let's say I want to create a material for my students with a list of multiplication tables. I can go into Topic and choose Unit 2, Multiplication, click Post, and now it will be organized very well on the page itself. You can see there's Unit 2 materials, here's Unit 1, but also students can quickly jump to Unit 1 or back to Unit 2, and it just helps them to focus in on specifically what they're looking for. Tip number 5 is use the Google Classroom calendar and teach your students to use it. At any time in Google Classroom, both you and your students can go here to this button in the upper left corner, click, and they can go to Calendar. And this will show them upcoming assignments that they have, upcoming events, and other calendar items. You and your students can choose to show all classes or specific classes, and the calendar items are clickable. And when you click on them, they take you to more detail, more information about that item, or it takes you directly to the item itself. Now to tip number 6, use the Google Classroom to-do list. Here in that same button, if you click on it, underneath Calendar, you get To Do, and it takes you to a list of things that you need to do. In my case, as a teacher, but also students get a to-do list. So I can look through this and I can see that there's some work that's been turned in that I need to grade. I could click on that to take me directly to the assignment, and I can now grade it. For students, that to-do list might be even more important to help them make sure that they don't miss any important work. Here in the to-do list, if you want, once you've looked at a particular item, you can click on these 3 buttons here and mark it as reviewed, and then it's removed from your to-do list. So it's just a simple way to stay on top of all the work that you have. Thanks for watching these 6 tips for using Google Classroom more effectively. I hope you found the video to be helpful. If you did, please like, follow, and subscribe. And when you do, click the bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post another video. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do that through my Patreon account, and there's a link to that in the description below.